We're back with another point of view game of Age of Mythology Retold to watch, and this one is going to be a special one because it's a Moose game. We haven't had a Moose game for a while. For anyone wondering, Moose is me. Just in case that wasn't clear, we're going to be watching me playing up against somebody called Hard God. And they're playing Hades, so maybe an ironic name, potentially. The map is Key, and I've done quite a few Key games recently, but I don't know, just maybe it's just how it's laid out, but it ends up having some pretty interesting games. Maybe it's just some slightly longer games. I think some Key ones can go extremely quickly, but if you can get out of your base and onto a second gold mine, then the game usually goes on for a little bit longer. I also do the double berserk start, so straight away send your boys over to food, then everything else you just grab some berserks. This is the first double berserk game I've ever done. Or not ever done, I've probably done one before, but in a very, very long time. So I didn't have a good build. So don't copy this build order, it's not very good. Mr. Hard God is also doing a pretty good job of trying to get all the cows, even though he has one scout and I have two. I'm pretty sure I managed to grab these. His scout is quicker. Nope, I definitely don't. But I do manage to catch some of his ones coming back. So my double berserks are going to pay off at some point. We're also going to uncover some of the relics that are in the middle of the map. And pretty much every game that I've played of Odin recently, I've been doing Soup's build or some adaptation of it that I've made that's just slightly easier to remember what to do. Maybe we'll have to have one of that one at some point as well. But it's where you start off on gold and then you get an early temple out and you get all your hearses out nice and early to collect all the relics. And I think that's a very, very solid build. Anyway, the berserks are going to be finding more cows up here, and I'm just going to end up doing pretty well, as we can just fight off this scout and make him run all these ones back home, and then I can just go around and collect more. But apart from that, the berserks have been busy, so houses need to come up in the main base from myself here. And we've actually already got the wood to grab a temple, which I am going to notice at some point and say, why do I have this much? I'm going to move over to this berry bush and all is good in the world. The berserk does notice that one as well. And maybe the question is, why have I been playing Odin? So I played about 10 Odin games back to back, which I kind of rarely do, unless I find a god that I really, really like playing, like Loki. And pretty much, Odin just feels like a better Loki to me. There we go, I do eventually move these gatherers over to the berry bush. But Loki has some really tough matchups. His eco is also just not very good compared to all the other Norse, as Frey gets cheaper everything, so his eco's good. Odin gets more hunt bonus and some regen on your dudes, so you're kind of getting eco that way. Thor gets extra berserks. Loki doesn't. He gets free myth unit spawns, which is cool. But sometimes the myth unit spawns don't really help, whereas extra food always helps. Extra dwarves always help. But yeah, the myth unit spawns can be a bit hit or miss. Anyway, we're going for a super late advance time. I don't think it really matters. We're against Hades. There are some Hades players that like to go for some kind of super rush where they go in with their double heroes and Minotaur and come do some big damage. But I don't know, just didn't get a sense that was probably going to happen. If that does happen, we can pull up the gold mine, jump on the back bits for a while, and it should be fine. And anyway, we're going to be carrying on. This berserk's going to be having a look around. I spot the town centre has a gold mine and deer on it, and a gold mine here. That's probably as good as a Key town centre gets. He has some dodgy town centres. They're not good at all. And now the temple comes down, and we're going to advance the next stage. We're going to go through Heimdall. You can go Freya. I didn't know which one to go, because normally when you get some defensive maps, it's just an obvious Heimdall angle, because you can wall up everything for really cheap with his technology. Safeguard, which makes your walls really cheap, and that can be strong. But on this map, sometimes Freya can be good because you can get a good kind of forest fire off, and then your opponent has to be moving on to a forward forest, which can be interesting. You also just got some fast units that can run around the map. And to be honest, I was missing playing Loki this game because this is such a good Loki map in the sense that your eyes of the forest can spy all the pines and you just get so much vision. But that is one thing that maybe Loki does have a better time of. My berserk's just going to run over here and find a villager that it started whacking for some reason. I must have just done that by mistake. Oh, and my Raven with his Duke shoes on. If you just go kind of left, right, left, right, left, right, you can dodge those town center fires, and the berserk should be able to get away. He's faster than the Minotaur, and we're also going to be grabbing, I think, every relic except this one. The inventory deal bonus damage he unfortunately got. So I got fortresses, cheaper favor cost, or no favor cost. This one is your human soldiers, better against pierce, damage, which is nice against Hades, and then human soldiers deal more damage to buildings, like a mini Zeus bonus almost. We're also going to be dropping down a longhouse, and I've spotted that he's not gone for this town center. That is what this Berserk's job was did he go for the town center? He hasn't right now. Obviously, he can go for it a little bit after the fact, but knowing that he's not dropping an immediate town center is good news for me, or just news that I need to know, basically. I also saved my Great Hunt for the next stage because I have some back hunt. I could have used it earlier just to secure my main base, but what I do like to do is... Oh, I think I was trying to get to this Minotaur that was chasing my Berserk. I just did a cute little micro of just press Q on the Einherry. But yeah, if there's some safe food, then I just like to save it for the next stage because you get 100 extra food. Okay, I didn't realize it was that little. Maybe it's just not even worth it. Okay, I'm going to change that. That's no point. 100 extra food, whatever. But the hearses are going to be sitting in the middle. Just getting double longhouse out so I can build some Berserks. Berserks are very good raiders, especially if you get this upgrade as well. I don't know if I end up getting it soon anyway, but it's Hamask, which is just extra speed for your Berserks. This also gives them a small bonus against myth units. Doesn't matter too much unless you just have loads of Berserks, then maybe it starts mattering a little bit. The general build here also is I just go up to 7 dwarfs, so auto queue dwarves out until you get 7. When that 7th one comes out, you just swap the auto queue back over to your normal villagers, and then you can distribute those however you want. If you want throwing axemen, you go on the wood. If you want Berserks and stuff, you go on the berries. And the hearses did find a Minotaur, and then I see what he's doing. He's building dudes. That's what he's going for. I'm also leaving a Raven over here to see if he goes to his back food, which you would assume he would at some point, because otherwise he's just out on the map trying to grab bears and things like that, which isn't ideal. This is his closest food source that he might go to. Also getting Rigstula in, just queuing it up after this Gatherer. That's 20% work rate for every building, including villages. So as we're kind of sitting back and chilling, I want to get that one, even though, you know, it is kind of expensive, 150 gold and a bit of favor. And this is when he's going to come and actually attack me a little bit. So I do have to run away. I'm just sacrificing this house. I'm just like, whatever. He does have restoration, so I don't just want to take a fight, like an all-in fight against this, because he's just going to restoration. The Toxotes are going to kill all my dudes. I'm not going to be happy about it. Also pre-queuing my medium infantry, so that when the dudes eventually get built, I will be able to make them a little bit stronger. I've also got the Berserks raiding on this top side. I don't believe I find a villager kill. I think I take out a Toxote, try to get some of these reinforcements. No, I just scare them off into the tower. Definitely not sacrifice them. It looks like I do sacrifice a Hersa, though. Unfortunately, do, again, a little bit of micro with the Berserk. And then the boys are going to run through. That's really funny. Thank you for the follow, Underworld Invasion. I'm doing this offline, so if you watch this video, that's funny. I appreciate that. How funny. Anyway, Hamask is going to be coming through, and the Great Hall coming down. Yeah, I played about 10 games of Odin just offline from between Friday and Saturday. I got off work, and I just wanted to just play some games and not really talk too much. So I was just playing them and try-harding a little bit. I think also learning from my mistakes. I've definitely made quite a few mistakes playing as Odin, because I've not really played as him for a solid while, apart from just going team games, pure raiding cavalry. But this kind of different way to play him is just nice, and I am making some mistakes. The throwing axemen coming through, they can jump inside the central tower, so no problems. I do imagine he's coming over to this food source that's lasting very, very long, thanks to my Great Hunt, and he is going to be coming through there, so my boys just go, yeah, I'm just going to run away. I do notice that he doesn't actually move over here. He just goes over the longhouse, so I was going to move back, and then he does come over, so I'm just getting prepared. I just do a little thing where I move these ones over to the food, move these ones over to move these ones to the wood, move the ones from the wood to the food, just so everyone can get on their resource a little bit quicker. Probably doesn't make too much difference, but it's just, you know, those little min-maxy things that are just cute to do. Watchtower's coming in. Unfortunately, this throwing axeman looks like he has a death wish. I definitely wasn't looking at this at the time. Here we go. He is going to move back, and he's going to survive. And with Odin healing 31 HP and a dream, he's going to be moving back up. The gold mine in the main base doesn't finish off. But because he was aggressing over here, I go, oh, I'm actually just going to come over here onto this gold mine. It's quite far away from his army. He's also gone for the slow kind of Hades army. So, noting that one, I'm just going to be over here. It looks like the villagers were coming forward for something. I'm a bit confused why they're there. Maybe they were walking around here. Maybe there's a wall here and they tried to walk around the gate. I wasn't really sure. But anyway, we're just going to move over here and aggress onto these. He's already got a really nice wall positioned up here. So what I try to do is leave some one side and then move everything else the other side to try and get a villager kill. So I try and do 2 and 2 or 1 and 1. Looks like I end up 1 and 3. And we're just going to try and aggress onto these guys before some of his units come in. Looks like his units will be able to come in. There's going to be one villager that I should be able to snipe here. And do get one. And that's good enough for me. I'm going to run away. This is also all distracting while I'm over here. So all of my dudes are here. They're going to build up some walls as we did go safeguard. I'm just going to sacrifice these guys. I want to run them around as much as possible. Unfortunately, I shift-clicked these into the wall, so didn't do exactly what I wanted. But I was back here building walls and things, and that is myself going to be protected. And I'm pre-queuing Scardy. I imagine I have an armory. No, I don't. Classic fashion. Going to be building that armory right now. We do have the resources. And we also have 10 villagers on the wood, which means that when this armory goes down, I can also spam up loads of buildings. Because that is something that as Norse, you just need to do. You just need to spam up the buildings. Because you start off with some buildings, and then you just end up using all of your army to fight. And then when you lose them, you've got no way to rebuild them back up. So I actually forgot safeguard. You see, this is what I mean. I'm new to playing Odin, and I'm just forgetting these things. Even when I play Loki, I very rarely go Heimdall. It's because Forseti fast Hersa boys are a little bit more fun. The far-traveled, Ingvar the far-traveled, and co. Going to be building up some buildings. So it's just, I don't know what I'm going for yet. So I know I've got medium infantry and all my dudes, so I'm probably going to be building more of those, so more long houses than great halls, but just a little bit of everything. The berserkers are also going to come back over here and just pressure this position again. I do have my raven here, which is absolutely terrible. I also need to change my scout hotkey because it's on P, and then my berserk's P, and then that's also my build tower, so I definitely need to stop that. Anyway, now the Raven's going to head over to this gold mine, which is where I want him. We're up to the next stage. We're through Scardy. He's still classical age for the time being, also coming over here. Do see that there are some villagers over here, so I'm just going to send these berserks. You see, in real time, this is exactly what I wanted to do. Send the berserks over here just to pressure that, while also pressuring this side. That's a great way if you're not really APM heavy. Maybe that's not the best way to describe it, but if you're good at multitasking around the map, this is a great way to just get some good damage done. Looks like he's going to be moving his villagers off. I don't actually get any villager kills there, which is unfortunate, but all his Toxotes are here. Oh, a good amount of Toxotes are here, plus Nemean Lion, so I think I should be able to get some damage done here. I'm like, oh, no, maybe not. Maybe not. There's loads of hoplites here. But again, the distraction means that I can grab my hill fort on my next gold mine and hunt source and be absolutely fine. He also goes for a fortress here, as my berserk spot that on the way home. I'm like, ooh, this could be nice. He does use a curse, and I'm like, okay, hill fort, this berserk can build that hill fort. Everything else that I have, I've spent my resources a little bit. I do have some in the queue, so not ideal in terms of going to attack him. I shouldn't really be winning this trade if he has all his units here, but it looks like there's one Nemean Lion for the time being, so I try to do a little something. And I think I have Undermine here, so I'm thinking, the worst comes to worst, I can just undermine this and take it out. But what I would prefer to do is just destroy it with my villagers, with my berserks. That would be nice. And we're going to move over here. The fortress should be going down, and that's so many resources down the drain for him. And I still have undermine in the back pocket. And what I also like to do with Frost is freeze some units and try to attack everything else. He does have a nice wall here. I wanted to freeze all of his units and destroy the villagers. And I think I take out 3 villagers there and a bull minotaur that will be going down, which is nice. Oh, do I not notice that? Maybe I think he was frozen by the frost. Well, that's unfortunate. Now, this is where I do make a mistake. So you see me walking off, and I'm like, yes, job done, boys. And that is what I should have done. I should have done that. That is... A lot of people stay and they wall in, and I just think it's such a big mistake. I also do spot this gold mine is up with the fortress on this side, so that's a good undermine opportunity later. But what I'm doing here is I don't have that many more units than him. He's also got a nice positioning for his Toxotes, and I don't have any Huskarls out or Raiders. So I decided to take this fight, and honestly, I don't know why. He also has a Restoration that he hasn't used yet, so it's just didn't make any sense for me to take this, as he is going to Restoration. Even without that, I don't think I'm that favorable, considering his kind of spot here. One big benefit is I do have a Frost Giant here that Chiron is taking out slowly, but it's only Chiron on his lonesome. But yeah, we're just going to trade probably slightly in his favor. Toxotes left, Throwing Axeman left. I think he probably comes out favorable on that fight, and that was me using a God Power. I did take down a few villagers. As we said, there was 3 villagers. I should have just taken that as a win. I've destroyed the fortress, destroyed the villagers, back off, aggress onto it later. I've got my waypoint over here for all of my buildings. I just don't notice. So I'm even losing even harder than I thought. I think I noticed now. I'm like, whoops. Run the boys back. Oh dear. So for anybody wondering about, guys, I think I've done some casts of my own games before, and people are like, oh, I'm glad that you point out mistakes that you make. Just for anyone scared about playing ranked or whatever, I'm like, I think this game averages out to be 1,700, which is like top 100 players. So if you see all the mistakes that are made in this kind of game, like don't feel bad about going in, playing some games. If, the lower the elo goes, the more mistakes that are made. So always jump in if you feel like playing. And he's also going to aggress on this side. I didn't get my wall upgrade because he hasn't aggressed onto me yet, so I just didn't feel the need to. But anyway, we're moving over. And we're also kind of almost out of this gold mine, which means I can just walk around the top. It's not a problem. I have left that one open. His restoration is down. There is a chance of him having 100 favor to do this, but he's also got some Minotaurs, and he's built all his heroes out and things. So unless he's spamming loads of villagers on the favor, he probably won't have much. I'm also trying to micro my Throwing Axemen to keep them away from the Toxotes. He also micros his Hoplites very nicely to take care of my Jarls. Jarls are just big tanky units that are just generally good to have, but up against Hoplites, they aren't the best, so need to run them away. I also tried for this hunt spot, and that's what the villagers that were moving back earlier, that's where they came from. They were on this hunt, which was a great play by him, because I did not expect that at all. Looks like he's coming in with a bit of aggression. I've also got 200 favor sat in the bank, so I need to spend that at some point. Anyway, the Throwing Axeman micro is what's going to be most important for me. Also, taking out the Chiron is questionable. I probably wanted to go after the Peltas, because those are going to be the big damage dealers against my Throwing Axeman. And actually what's happened is I was expecting to be able to hunt up here, and I can't, so I have no food in the bank at all. And do I have a hill fort? Yes, I do. So what I need to do is be building all wood and gold based units. I need to get out my Goaties, need to get out my Throwing Axeman, and I need to get out some Huskarls, just so I can just spam units out to be able to defend against this Petropolis push, as this is such a big thing that Greek can do against the classical age Norse. Is Norse can't do this back. They only have two dudes holding a big siege weapon there. I'm also just sacrificing some gatherers in to try and take out the Petropolis. That was a decision that I made. And now we're on the back foot against this Hades. We did a big play earlier, just before maybe 10 seconds after the frost. We were not so far ahead, but we were ahead by a considerable margin. And now we are behind. Also, this gold mine that I've secured with the hill fort. The hill fort is also the only thing being able to build these Huskarls out, because I've only got one. So what do I need to do? I need to bring the boys back, and I just need to rotate over to the other gold mine. I don't want to be losing these guys either, so they have to walk through this gate. I think I build another one here because I just need to get through. Maybe we're going to lose 1 or 2. I don't have the equipment to survive for these dwarves, so I do have to watch out for that one. Frost Giant is probably just going to sacrifice himself, or at least the majority of himself, to get the boys out. And now I've realized, okay, I had 200 favor sat in the bank. 200. So I can use another Frost. I can use another Great Hunt if that's available anywhere. Probably not on this kind of map. So what's the other option? Build myth units. And Frost Giants are incredibly strong myth units if you're up against Heroic Age Greek, because they only have 3 heroes. Their 3 heroes are good, but you can kind of focus them down and get away with that. When they're in the Mythic Age, your myth units kind of fall off a cliff, Maybe not against Hades, although Hades does have Perseus, which has the Medusa type special, which will just take one out instantly. So if I'm going to be using this favor on myth units, it needs to be now. I'm also hiding my Frost Giants from this Nemean Lion. I don't want him to know that I've got this many. So what I was doing was I was just sending one over to the Nemean Lion, and then I go, actually, no, we're going to bring these guys back, make sure he doesn't see that I've got all of these, also getting the upgrade, which makes them 200 HP more, and I think they get more freezes off and more damage. Just a generally great upgrade. Hill Fort coming up on this gold mine, because the boys are going to need somewhere else to mine. And again, just like earlier, his slow army is on this side, and now I've rotated all the way over to here. My whole base is here, so he has to run the long way, which is a great thing about Key, is all of these pines and everything he has to run through. And I go, okay, where do I go from here? I think what I need to be able to do is that there's no Mythic Age or anything. I need to be able to defend this next push. And I believe with my 6 Frost Giants, or could even get more out, I should be able to defend. Because, like I say, he only has those 3 Heroic Age heroes. So as long as I can either target them down, or even just ignore them, to be honest, and take out all the other Petrobolus and all the other damage dealers, then I should be fine. I've got heavy infantry, so I'm not really going into those cavalry units. I also only have 2 Great Halls, but they're only at medium, so I'm just like, okay, I just need to build out the Huskars, the Throwing Axemen, get out some Berserks, which are quick units to build. I think I do need some heroes. How many heroes do I have? I only have 2, but Frost Giants are normally good against other myth units as well, because you can just freeze them. So I think that's one of the ones that I micro onto, straight onto the Nemean Lion, and he is going to be moving in. One of the main micro things to do is grab the Frost Giants onto the myth units, and the Throwing Axemen keep away from the Peltas. You see when the Peltas run forward, that's when the Throwing Axemen need to run back, because that means the Peltas have been tasked onto the Throwing Axemen. And if they're not dealing their damage, all of my front line against his front line, I should be able to win this, because I have all the myth units in the world. Myth units are the best front line unless they have an absurd amount of heroes, which they don't. And you see how hard I win this fight. Only 1 Frost Giant goes down, maybe some are low HP. He's also going to lose some Petrobolus on the back of this, or at least this one from the Berserk wailing on it. The Berserks also just did a little cheeky raid up this side, just to see what was going on. Did miss that one. But there was a villager building some temples and stuff. So now he is on the back foot. So what can I do here? I have loads of units now. I have absolutely loads. So I go, what do I do? Now, I think looking at this, I could just go right now. I definitely could. I've got full population. I'm going to take out everything here. I've got some Frost Giants which have crush damage. I can just absolutely send it. But I don't. I want to kind of... I want to try something, because I say this is the kind of testing phase for the Odin. I also don't know if he could repopulate this quickly. Maybe I don't even realize how hard I actually won that fight. But anyway, what do? I take out everything from my queue, and I go, let's go Balder. I won that fight pretty hard, so what's stopping me from just going for a Ragnarok? I've got 70 villagers, which... I know I've got 1 town center right now, but I did have 2 TCs for a bit, and it's 23 minutes in. So I've got 70 villagers. 70 Ragnarok heroes could be pretty nice. But I also need to be getting a little bit more population before that happens, and maybe get some armory upgrades. So I go, right, bronze shields. These Throwing Axemen are going to run over here to build up this settlement, and then all these Huskars are going to run over here to build this settlement. Like I say, I don't know if this is the right play, but it's the play that I've decided to go for. And we also have to jump in this hill fort, so it's a nice attack from him. He repopulates his whole army, which means that does push back his Mythic Age if that's what he wants to go for, because I didn't need to repopulate for my Mythic Age. I won the fight, so I can do that one for free, pretty much. He's going to come in and pressure, and I go, okay, let's just... All the villagers run away. Don't know why these guys are moving. Maybe they were on this wood line. I was a little bit scared. Probably should have just clicked on this one. We do lose 1 villager here, which is not ideal considering we're going Ragnarok. But it isn't like we have to click the button straight away, though. We can start getting upgrades in, maybe get a small trade, maybe go to the corner, get a trade to here with 5 to 10 ox caravans. Could be nice. We also still have our our Frost Giants, sorry, which are going to be very, very useful. We again have 200 favor, pretty much 165 favor sat in the bank, which means the boys can we can make some more boys, make some more frost giants. We can make some fire giants, which could be an option soon, which is why I realize I'm like, ooh, look at that, 168 favor, temple down, and also build some rams. Normally when you go for these pushes, like an all-in kind of push, you need the rams. The rams are crucial, as you need something to take down the buildings. I also don't pre-queue champion units, which is interesting. I don't know why I didn't do that. Maybe I'm thinking I want my armory upgrades instead. But now champion units is coming in. We're getting bronze armor. And now it's kind of a waiting game to grab all of the units, and we will use our Ragnarok very, very soon. But then I realize he's coming in, and for some reason I'm, again, mistake, I'm in the front, and he wants to aggress onto me, and I'm like, well, I'm going to lose all of my dudes here. Although, hindsight, probably not. Those fire giants did insane damage. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to go now. Whatever, just going to go now. And we're just going to full send all the heroes coming in. How many armory upgrades did we get? We got bronze, armors. We also have some resources in the bank. So I can definitely build some more armory upgrades. I was going to say shields is probably the one I want the most. And I actually cancel that one for some reason. But I think shields is definitely the one that I want the most, because we're going to be going under fortress fire, all his archers that he keeps making. And we're just going to go over to this gold mine and make sure that he is putting a stop to that. There is definitely merit in sending maybe 15 Ragnarok heroes down to this bottom side to pressure it. But I'm thinking I'm just going to send everything in one spot and have my army concentrated and hopefully bulldoze his, is my thinking. He also has the Colossus that pops out. That's not going to do anything against my army. My army is scary. Also, just all the production buildings we're just taking out. Why not? And hopefully we should be on for a good fight. He's building the right stuff. He's building Hephaspis, Toxodes, which are going to be the best against my units. I just need to make sure my Fire Giant specials are good. And I definitely microed that first one. The second one, I didn't. But we're still melting. And then I do have enough favor for a Frost. And I'm thinking, should I Frost this and take out everything? And I decide against it, because I'm winning the fight pretty hard anyway. So what I'm thinking in this moment is win this fight, and then the next army that he makes, if he's able to make another army, then Frost that, and then kill everything else, was my thought process. We're also dropping population just slightly here, but still doing well. Which means that we should be able to start repopping with villagers soon, because these are worth 2 population. So if we just lose a handful of them, we're going to be able to start slowly getting our eco back. He's also trying to build a temple on this side, which is a great find by me. I haven't really managed to kill that many villagers. And that is something you do want to do with this hero of Ragnarok, because you have no villagers left. So yes, wiping the army is great, but if they can just keep producing army, then you're eventually going to lose. So that's something you do need to know about. I also have the portable ram back here, which will eventually secure me a plenty vault, and the fire giants need to come forward because their special abilities are just crazy. And it looks like he couldn't repopulate the army, but anyway, I had an answer for that. I had the frost available to use again, and then over here was where I was planning to use the undermine if I needed to aggress onto this bit. But Odin is fun. If you want to try Norse God, I think Odin is definitely the one to just give a go. But yeah, resources collected. You can just see I was actually keeping toe with him, so all is good.